The last video's figures apply to individual morals, motives, and goals. This video's figures apply mostly to converging collective morals. One regards metaethics, and the other regards avoiding assumptions when converging morals. My research yields inconsistencies with descriptions of metaethical positions. A way to sort out and amplify subtle differences between descriptions is through computational thinking. Imagine how a computer will process the same information. First, understand that computers only calculate and store results. It gets tricky when we insert Hume's guillotine. I'm using more rigid computational versions of descriptions and prescriptions. Descriptions are like variables in an equation. Since computers don't have free will, prescriptions can only be described as commands and preferences. That's fine because metaethics don't prescribe. Metaethics only describe modes of morality, putting the whole amoral concept on the descriptive side of Hume's guillotine. Metaethics subdivide into cognitive and non-cognitive. Computationally, cognitive is the result of a calculation, entering a command, or entering variable data. One computational way to distinguish it from non-cognitive is to treat the latter like an operand that doesn't get stored. It only applies in the moment of inquiry with completely subjective answers. The first set of factors distinguish authority. Commands come either autocratically or democratically by secular or theocratic origin. Since computers are atheists, divine commands must be input by mortals. The next set of factors distinguish types of information. All entered data is computationally believed, but feelings are different, involving impulse and hormones. Since computers don't feel, feelings can only be input by humans and echoed by the computer. Reason is assumed to be more thought out, but it's complicated as mentioned in the last video. The result is ideas. Most ideas meet the original Richard Dawkins definition of memes, going well beyond the oversimplified internet meme. Transferability defines memes. Ideas are more verifiable when they're falsifiable and quantifiable, but neither is required to make an idea powerful. Authority covers all types. Whether based on long-held beliefs, feelings, or sound reasoning, authority is most important to both submissive and rebellious types. The last set of factors distinguish potential and degrees of knowledge. Potential is either infinite, limited, or non-existent. Degrees of knowledge range from insufficient to sufficient. Ideal knowledge may go beyond sufficient. These are the computational factors in metaethics. It's not explained this way in the book. Figure 46 looks like this in the book. I'm removing this extra part to zoom in. The parts shown here are established metaethical positions as I interpret them with my limited understanding. This extra part is my customized position because no established position describes me. This is what it looks like when I add back the factors not included in the book. It's a pictorial, computational metaethics chart. Metaethics offer potential to make converging morals easier. It can only help knowing these positions before debating any moral position on an issue. Overcoming assumptions about another's morals, from metaethical to specific criteria or policy, comes next. Figure 48a describes the closed loop an artist might get stuck in if they assume others should, or do, agree with their moral positions. This is expected in fine art, but not in most forms of art. The way out of that loop is through changing a few steps with the more design and engineering approach in Figure 48b. The more outward approach prioritizes others' concerns. Observing the status quo is done with more emphasis on exposing the voids discovered. More planning is expected in developing a solution. More proposing to get buy-in is also expected. No need to question morals after a response because we've done it preemptively. Next, we evaluate feasibility of solutions and seek approval. When lacking approval, there's no need to resist or rethink the morals. Simply adjust the plan within the morals originally converged on. Approval means exiting the loop. Between metaethical analysis and a more outward artistic approach, there's no need to assume in most art projects. They can run much smoother. But again, it's not necessarily ideal for fine art. Fine art is never democratic. The next video deals with a different kind of loop. Then we'll be skipping a half a dozen figures that don't meet the enhancement through animation criteria to get to one of my favorite figures in the book. I hope you are looking forward to it. Please leave critical and constructive feedback in the comments. Thanks for watching.